I came home after 4 long days in town. 4 days of supply runs, vet appointments, and fixing a busted alternator. Only to find the only bridge to my property chained shut. Heavy industrial chains coiled across the planks like a snake with its jaws locked shut. Bolted straight into the concrete footings, as if someone had come onto my land and declared victory. At first, I thought maybe it was a prank, or a mistake. Then I saw the laminated sign zip-tied to the railing. Property access revoked. By order of Riverside Tranquility HOA. An HOA I had never joined. An HOA that didn't have jurisdiction anywhere near me. I walked closer, and that's when I noticed the real problem. A glint. A tiny reflection in the brush across the creek. I crouched, parted the branches. A hidden camera, lens aimed directly at my bridge. And not just aimed, positioned to capture one thing. Me. Then I found the forged maps. The fake safety closure order. And the engineering signature from a man who'd lost his license years ago. That's when it clicked. This wasn't an HOA dispute. This was a targeted takeover. And the people behind it had no idea who they'd just started a war with. Montana quiet is different. People who don't live here think quiet means nothing happens. But out here, quiet means the land is breathing. It means the ridge settles. It means the pines shift with the wind. It's a piece you build your life around. And I had built mine slowly, one paycheck, one fence post, one winter at a time. 18 years. 18 years of no neighbors close enough to bother me. 18 years of earning every inch of this property with sweat and stubbornness. But that morning, quiet felt different. Not calm. Alert. Something was wrong the second I stepped out of my truck. The chains across the bridge weren't old or rusted. The padlock was shiny, brand new. And when I placed my hand over the bolt head, it was still warm. Whoever did this had been here minutes ago. Then the camera in the brush sealed it. Someone wanted to watch my reaction. Someone was waiting for a fight. Inside my cabin, I dug out the latest property documents, maps, and deeds. Everything airtight, everything notarized, everything legally bulletproof. Their boundary reassessment was a joke. Wrong county seals, formatting straight out of a cheap template, and the property lines, good grief. It looked like a toddler had used a crayon to redraw reality. So I called them, and that's when I met her. Karen, the self-appointed queen of the Riverside Tranquility HOA. She answered the phone like she was holding a scepter. "This is Riverside Tranquility. How may I assist you?" "You can start," I said, "by explaining why your chain is across my bridge." There was a pause. Then her voice sharpened like a knife. "Our maps supersede yours. Your driveway crosses our emergency access corridor. Fees are due in 10 days. I almost laughed. Supersede? Fees? I didn't live in their development. I wasn't part of any HOA. And the nearest house in their community was 14 miles away. But her confidence was the real tell. People aren't that bold unless someone is backing them. And I was right, because later that night, cross-checking online documents, I found something their webmaster must have accidentally left public. A leaked PDF labeled, Phase 2 Expansion, Preliminary. And my bridge, sat under a bright red arrow. Preferred northern access route. To them, I wasn't a neighbor. I was a roadblock, and roadblocks get removed. The next morning, I hiked down the trail expecting the same chain. What I found instead stopped me cold. A steel barricade the size of a truck bumper had been drilled into the bridge deck. Industrial chain threaded through welded braces. A thick binder taped to the railing contained a safety closure order, stamped with the name, Engineer Leonard Briggs. I didn't know that name then, but I'd learned soon enough that Briggs hadn't been an engineer for almost 5 years. License revoked. Safety violations. Fraud investigations. And now his forged signature was sitting on my property. I called the sheriff's office. Deputy Thurman came out, inspected everything, compared my documents to theirs. He looked uncomfortable, like a man stuck between common sense and paperwork. "Your documentation is solid," he said, "but I can't cut the chain. That order is county certified." I stared at him. Certified? By who? He didn't answer. Didn't have to. The silence told me everything. Someone inside the county office was helping them. On my way back up the game trail, my boot skidded on wet moss. My knee smashed into a sharp rock so hard I saw sparks. Pain shot up my leg. I lay there for a moment, teeth clenched, breathing through it. I didn't know then that the injury would become evidence. One more nail in their coffin. But I knew one thing. This wasn't petty anymore. This was personal. At the clinic, the doctor documented everything, the swelling, the contusion, the reduced motion. When she asked what caused it, I explained the barricade forcing me to take the steep trail. She frowned, wrote something, and under cause, she wrote in bold, "Restricted legal access." That single phrase would become priceless. I drove home slow, every bump a reminder of the metal across my bridge. When I got back, I removed the SD card from the hidden camera. My hands were shaking, but not from fear, from anger. The footage was damning. 3 silhouettes working under moonlight, boots scraping the deck. One man whispering, "Hold it steady right here." Tools clanking, drills whining, and clear shots of license plates when they left. Enough to prove trespass. Enough to prove intent. Enough to prove conspiracy. I sent everything to my lawyer, Mitchell, steady voice, razor-sharp mind, the kind of man who wins without raising his voice. "Send it all," he said. "We move first." And that's when the real fight began. 2 days later, the official survey team I hired rolled onto my land. Big GPS poles, orange vests, the whole deal. But while they set up, I noticed something else. A new envelope. Thick, heavy. Too heavy for paper alone. Stamped with the HOA logo. My stomach tightened. Inside was a stack of documents titled, "Notice of Compulsory Easement Acquisition, Northern Access Route." They were trying to take my bridge. No negotiation. No compensation. No legal standing. They planned to seize it, claim it, and pave it into their development. Attached to the back was the boldest part, a draft of a press release. They'd already written their victory speech. Riverside Tranquility HOA secures Northern Access Route, enhancing safety, emergency response, and community growth. They weren't fighting. They thought they'd already won. I felt a cold smile pull at my face, because what they didn't know was that the survey team wasn't just mapping property lines. They were documenting the barricade, the drilled bolts, the forged signs, the illegal structures extending onto my riverbank, the exact GPS coordinates proving trespass. That same afternoon, Mitchell filed a temporary restraining order against the entire HOA board. But that was just the opening move. We filed 5 more actions: criminal trespass, fraudulent engineering order, interference with lawful access, injury resulting from hazardous obstruction, attempted illegal land acquisition. Then we sent the SD card footage and clinic report straight to the county commissioner. The reaction was volcanic. We filed 5 more actions: criminal trespass, fraudulent engineering order, interference with lawful access, injury resulting from hazardous obstruction, attempted illegal land acquisition. Then we sent the SD card footage and clinic report straight to the county commissioner. The reaction was volcanic. Within 48 hours, deputies escorted the board president out of her office. Briggs, the fake engineer, was arrested at a gas station outside Dillon. Investigators raided the HOA's planning office. The entire Phase 2 expansion was frozen indefinitely, and Riverside Tranquility HOA was placed under emergency state review. The county work crew arrived on a cold morning. Their saws screamed for 2 minutes before the barricade fell. The deputy supervising the operation handed me the broken padlock. "Souvenir," he said. I held that cold chunk of metal, heavy and scarred, and walked toward the river. The mountains were quiet again. Not the hunted quiet from before, but the old quiet. My quiet. I looked across the valley they'd tried to steal from me. "This land remembers," I whispered. "And so do I." They thought I'd fold. They thought age meant weakness. They thought paperwork could rewrite reality. But Montana land doesn't bow to signatures. It bows to those who stand their ground. And I'm not done standing. Not now. Not ever.